Today we're going to be setting up a basic Nginx web server running on a Raspberry Pi, and we are going to publicly expose it to the internet without port forwarding using Cloudflare tunnels. To get started, we're first going to SSH into our Raspberry Pi. Once we're connected to our Raspberry Pi, we're going to run an apt update and apt install Nginx as our web server. Once we've updated our packages, we can run apt install Nginx to install the Nginx web server. Once Nginx is installed, it will automatically start up in the background and start hosting just a confirmation page to show that it is running. This is not public yet, but we can confirm that it's running by going to our local Raspberry Pi's address, going to http://Raspberry Pi, and we get the confirmation page saying welcome to Nginx. So now to publicly expose this page, we are going to use Cloudflare tunnels. So we first need to install the Cloudflare daemon for this to work. So coming over to the documentation page for Cloudflare tunnels, or the Cloudflare daemon, we're going to install this for the Debian-based distribution recommended. So we need to add some apt repositories to install the official release of Cloudflare daemon. So we're going to copy this command, which is going to add the signing keys for the repository. And we're going to go ahead and run this on our Raspberry Pi. Next, we're going to copy this command, which should also connect the keys to apt. And we will run, yeah, that's the stable one. Cool. So we actually, yeah, I copied a little bit too much. And then we're just going to run an apt update. Which we can see it's now pulling from the Cloudflare apt packages or apt repositories. So now we can run sudo apt install Cloudflare D, and this should pull from the Cloudflare apt repositories and automatically install. So now that we have the Cloudflare daemon command, we can come over to our Cloudflare dashboard. We're going to go under the networking tab and choose tunnels. From here, we're going to choose to create a new tunnel, and we can call this whatever we want. So we can go ahead and call this Raspberry Pi. Create tunnel. We're going to choose Debian as our operating system and choose ARM64 as the architecture. Not that that really changed the commands at all. And we're going to choose the command to install it as a service. Since we already have the Cloudflare D command or service installed on our system, we can use that command. And this will add the key that we need to our Cloudflare daemon. And we can see that our Cloudflare daemon has successfully connected to Cloudflare. We can then click continue, and we see that our Raspberry Pi is healthy and connected to Cloudflare. That's great. So now what we need to do is we need to connect a domain to our machine. So we're going to go over to the configure tab and choose routes. And then we're going to add a new route and choose published application. This is what's going to publicly expose our machine or our web server. We're going to choose any domain that you want. I'm going to choose the zaneroberts.com, and I'm going to add a subdomain of RPI for Raspberry Pi. So the URL that I'm actually going to navigate to is rpi.zaneroberts.com. You can optionally add a path as well. So if instead I wanted to go to zaneroberts.com/RPI, I could configure that in this screen as well. But what is required lastly here is the service URL. And this is the host name and port that the web server is running on our Raspberry Pi. In our case, this will be localhost, and since we're using HTTP, it will be running on port 80. So we're going to do http://localhost:80. And this will reach the Nginx instance running unencrypted on HTTP, but since Cloudflare Tunnels acts as a proxy, they automatically manage your secure certificates, so when somebody visits your site publicly via the domain, it will automatically be encrypted with HTTPS on Cloudflare side, between Cloudflare and the user. Cloudflare tunnels themselves are also encrypted between your Raspberry Pi and Cloudflare, but this is not done with HTTP's SSL stuff. This is through Cloudflare's tunnel itself. So after we've added the route, we get this message that says route successfully added. We chose the hostname rpi.zaneroberts.com. And it added a CNAME record to our DNS for this domain that points to the Cloudflare instance or the Cloudflare tunnel instance for our machine. So if we copy this domain here and open up a new tab, we get the same welcome to Nginx page that we had on our Raspberry Pi, which is great. That's awesome. And to prove that this is running on our Raspberry Pi, we can actually go over and make a change. So our web server is hosting from the directory /var/www. So if we cd into var www, we see the HTML directory. We'll cd into that as well. And we see this file index nginx-debian.html. We can go ahead and move this file to index old.html, and we're going to, we need sudo to do that because we are not operating in our home directory. And we're going to make a new index file. We'll say sudo nano index.html, and we're just going to do some basic HTML here. So doc-type HTML, and we're going to go ahead and just give this a body with a title of saying hello world, or hello Cloudflare tunnels, and a body or paragraph saying this is hosted from our Raspberry Pi without port forwarding. We can go ahead and save that, and we can refresh our page over here, and we get that page that we just created. How awesome is that? No port forwarding needed, so even if your IP address changes, your site stays hosted.